Now, we go along the story and I ask questions. You answer my questions, okay? Let's go. Star reporter. So tell me, who are in the story? Do you remember any names in this story? Steve, right? Who else? Joe, right? Joe and Steve are friends, right? And what about the girl? What is the name of the girl? Marietta, right? Marietta is the name of the girl in this story. Very good. Who else? Steve's father is the editor, right? Is the editor of the newspaper, right? Who else? The girl's father, right? Mr. Ritchie, right? You remember? Yes, the girl's father. Yes? Okay. Let's go along the story, okay? Now, look at the pictures. So, what are they doing? Joe and Steve, what are they doing? Yes, very good. Joe is talking to Steve on the phone, right? They are talking on the phone. Yes, very good. Now, what are they talking about? What are they talking about? About a new girl, right? A new girl in town. Very good. Yes? And who knows about the girl? Who knows about the girl first? Joe, right? Joe knows about the girl first. And Joe tells Steve about the girl. Very good. So, does Steve want to know about the girl? Yes, right. Steve wants to know more about the girl. Very good. Now, what does Joe know about the girl? What does Joe know about the girl? She's tall, right? With red hair and a nice smile, right? And her name is, what is her name? Her name is Marietta. Very good. Now, they talk more, okay? Now, what does Steve want to know more about the girl? He wants to know where he can find the girl, right? Very good. He wants to know where to find the girl, right? So does Steve want to see the girl? Yes, Steve wants to see the girl. Yes, she does. Very good. He does want to see the girl. So he wants to know where the girl is, right? Where to find the girl, right? Are they best friends? Joe and Steve, are they best friends? Yes, they are, right? They are best friends. Very good. Now, can Joe tell Steve where to find the girl? Yes or no? No, right? No. Joe cannot tell Steve where to find the girl, right? Okay. So Now Joe has to go, right? Joe has to go, right? Now who is waiting for Joe? Who is waiting for Joe? His father, right? His father is waiting for him in the car. Very good. Now Joe go away. Joe and his father go away for how many days? How long? How long do Joe and his father go away? They go away for 2 or 3 days, right? Very good. Now, Steve goes to his father's office, right? What is his father's name? What is his father's name? Very good. His father's name is Net Rate, right? Very good. So what does his father do? What does his father do? What is his job? He is an editor, right? He is editor. Very good. So where does he work? Where does his father work? The Cattle Star newspaper, right? Very good. His father works at the Cattle Star's newspaper. Very good. Now, what is the name of his reporter? Ted Seymour, right? Ted Seymour is the name of the reporter, right? What is the problem with the reporter? What is the problem with the reporter? He is ill, right? He is ill and he can't work for this week. Yes, he can't work this week. Okay, and how many reporters does he have? Does Net Rate have? One only, right? One only, one reporter only. Ted Seymour is the only reporter. Very good. And what does his father need? He needs something interesting, right? For what? For this week's newspaper. Yes? Very good. Now, so he tells Steve to help, right? He tells Steve to help him find something interesting, right? And do you think that Steve can help his father? No, right? Maybe no, right? Yes, okay. Now, Steve must go now, right? But what does he need to do? He needs to bring or take books back to the library. Yes? But where does Steve go first? Where does he go first? He needs to go to the shops first, right? He's going to the shops first. Now, he goes to the shop now. So, this is the girl, Marietta, right? Very good. So what does the girl want to do today? What does Marietta want to do today? Get some good pictures, right? She wants to get some good pictures today. Very good. Now, but now, what must she do now? What must she do now? Before getting some good pictures, what must she do now? Get a film, right, for the camera. Yes? She must get a film for her camera. Very good. Now, Steve sees the goal, right? Okay. And what's the problem with Steve? He sees the goal and drive the car, yes, up to the plant, right? To flowers, right? Very good. Now, the girl is at the shops, right? And Steve is at the shops too. Okay? So, what does the girl need to do? What does the girl wants to buy? Very good. The girl wants to buy a film, right, for her camera. Very good. Now, where is Steve going? Here, this picture, where is Steve going? He is looking for the girl, right? Okay, very good. And what's the problem with Steve? He falls, right? He falls into the water. Yes, very good. Now, what is the girl doing? What is Marietta doing? She is taking photo, right? She is taking photograph. Very good. Now, what does the girl think? She thinks about the good photographs, right? And what else? She thinks that she can sell the photographs for a newspaper. Yes? Very good. Awesome. Now, what's the problem with Steve now? What's the problem with Steve now? His jeans are all wet, right? His jeans are all wet. And what else? He needs to buy some gas. Very good. He needs to buy some gas. Now, where is the goal? Where's the goal? At a farm, right? At a farm. And what is she doing? She is taking photographs, right? Very good. And what does the girl take photograph of? The girl takes photographs of the horse, right? The horses. Very good. Now, what's the problem with Steve again? Steve hits the shelf, right? Very good. Hit the shelves of a shop. Yes. At the petrol station, right? At the gas station. Yes. Very good. Now, does Marietta know that Steve is behind her? Steve follows her. Does she know that Steve is following her? Yes, she does, right? She knows that Steve is following her, and she says, "Who is that boy?" Very good. Now, where's the goal now? Where's the goal? At the library, right? And what's happening at the library? There's a reading day, right? Reading day. It's a reading day at the library. Very good. And what does the girl think? What does the girl think? What does Marietta think? She thinks that she can get some good pictures, right? Very good. Now, where is Steve going? Steve is going to the library, right? Very good. And what does Steve see? What does he see? He sees the car of the girl, right? He sees Marietta's car, right? Very good. So now, what is Steve doing in the library? He takes the book back, right? And what else? He gives the book back. What else? He is looking for the goal. Very good. He's looking for the goal. He's looking for Marietta. Very good. Now, what does the girl want to do? At the library, she wants to take some pictures, right? Very good. Now, do they agree for Marietta to take pictures? Yes, they do, right? Very good. Now, and what does the man suggest Marietta? What does the man suggest Marietta? He suggests that she can sell the pictures to the cattle star, right? He suggests that she can sell the pictures to the cattle star. Very good. Does Marietta know about cattle star before? Does she know about the cattle star before? No, right? She doesn't know about the cattle star before. So she asks about the cattle star, right? Yes, very good. Now, Can Steve find Marietta? Can Steve find her? Yes, he can find Marietta, right? And now, what's the problem with Steve? He hits the coconut, right? Very good. He hits the coconut. And what is Marietta doing? She is taking pictures, right? Very good. Now, what does Marietta do now? What does she want to do now? She wants to get a drink, right? Very good. Next. Now, can she find a cafe for a drink? Can she find a cafe? Yes, she can, right? She can find a cafe across the street. Very good. Now, what does Jack want to do? Jack wants a drink, right? Very good. And Jack and Marietta are in the cafe, right? What is the name of the waiter? Patty, right? Patty is the name of the waiter. Very good. Now, what does Steve want to drink? Orange juice, right? Steve wants an orange juice. Very good. Now, what does Steve think? What does he think? He thinks about what? About telling the girl that his dad is editor of the Kado Star, right? Very good. Now, what's the problem with Steve again? The orange juice falls, right, onto his pants. Very good. And what is Marietta doing again? Takes pictures again, right? Very good. Look, does Patty know that Steve always follows goals? Yes, she does, right? She knows that Steve likes girls. Always follows goals, right? Very good. Look, next picture. What does Marietta want to know? She wants to know the address of the Kado Star offices, right? Very good. Where does she want to go? She wants to go to the Kado Star, right? Very good. The Kado Star's offices. Very good. Is the Kado Star offices or are the Kado Star offices far away? No, they are not far away. They are about 5 minutes walk. Very good. Now, next. What does Marietta want to do at the cattle star? She wants to sell photographs, right, to this newspaper. Very good. Now, what does the editor want to buy? What does he want to buy? He wants to buy interesting pictures, right? Yes, very good. And when does he need the pictures? When? Tomorrow, right? By tomorrow. Yes. Now, Marietta is leaving the office. And who comes to office? Steve, right? Steve comes to office. Very good. Now, what does Steve want to know? What does Steve want to know? Steve wants to know about the girl, right? The girl. Yes. And now he's leaving again. Yes. And his father tells him, what does his father tell him? Tell him to get something interesting, not the girls, right? Tells him to forget about the girls and try to find me something, right? Now, who is this old man? Who is this? Mr. Pickett, right? Very good. So what is he doing? What is the old man doing? He is reading. Very good. He is reading. What is he reading? What is he reading? He is reading an old newspaper, right? Of the cattle star, right? Very good. Very good. Now, what is the newspaper about? What is that newspaper about? About what? Or about whom? The newspaper is about Bud Ritchie, right? Bud Ritchie. Very good. And now, where is Bud Ritchie? Where is Bud Ritchie? Mr. Bud Ritchie. Where is him? He is back in town again, right? He is in this town again, right? Very good. Cattle's town, right? Cattle town again. Very good. And where does he live? Where does he live? He lives in the old Potter house, right? Very good. Okay. So what does Mr. Pickett want to do? What does Mr. Pickett want to do? He wants to come or he wants to talk to Mr. Richie, right? And what does he want to talk to Mr. Richie? What? About what? About his time away, right? Yes, very good. So about Mr. Richie, what does Mr. Richie do? What is his job? He is a newspaper. No, he's a writer, right? Mr. Richie is a writer. Very good. Okay, so what is Steve's idea? What is Steve's idea? He is going to Mr. Richie and interview, right? Interview Mr. Richie. About what? What does Steve want to interview Mr. Richie about? About what? About Mr. Richie's return, right? Very good. About Mr. Richie's time away. Very good. Now, he sees Mr. Richie, right? Yes. And does he give Mr. Richie the old newspaper? Yes, he does, right? He gives Mr. Richie that newspaper. And what is the newspaper about? About Mr. Richie, right? Very good. Now, can Mr. Richie remember that newspaper? Yes, he can, right? He can remember that newspaper. Very good. Now, what does Steve want to ask about? Or what does Steve want to know about Mr. Richie? Very good. About what? About his time away, right? Very good. Now, does Mr. Richie agree? Yes, he does, right? He agrees for Steve to ask about his time away, right? Very good. And what does Steve tell Mr. Richie? Steve tells Mr. Richie that his father is editor, right, of the Cattle Star. And that, what's the problem with his father's reporter? Yes, the reporter is ill, right? Ill. And what does his father need? He needs something interesting, right, for this week's newspaper. Very good. Very good. Now, Mr. Richie tells Steve about his time away, right? Very good. Now, what does he tell Steve first? He tells Steve about what? Himalaya's mountain, right? Very good. Himalaya mountains. Is the Himalaya mountains biggest in the world? Yes, they are, right? Yes, they are. They are the biggest mountains in the world. Very good. Are they beautiful? Are they beautiful? Yes, they are. They are very beautiful, right? The most beautiful mountains in the world. Very good. Very good. Now, what does Mr. Ritchie tell Steve about? About Paris, right? What does he feel about Paris? It's exciting, right? It's exciting. Very good. And what else does Mr. Ritchie tell Steve about? About Africa. Very good. Mr. Ritchie tells Steve about Africa. Very good. Now, what can Steve see? What can Steve see? He sees a cat in the tree. And what does Steve think? Steve thinks that the cat cannot get down, right? So what does Steve want to do now? Steve wants to help the cat. Very good. Steve wants to help the cat. What is he doing? He is climbing the tree, right? To get the cat down, right? Now, what's happening with Steve? He is falling, right? Into the water, into the pond. Very good. See, who is helping Steve to get out of water? Marietta, right? Marietta helps Steve to get out of water. Very good. Does Steve have a good day today? No, he doesn't, right? He doesn't have a good day. Very good. Now, is the cat okay? Is the cat fine? Yes, she is, right? The cat is okay. Very good. Is Steve okay? No, right? No, he isn't. He is not okay. Yes. Why? Because now he is all wet and dirty, right? So he is not okay. Very good. Now, who is the girl? Who is Marietta? Marietta is the daughter of Mr. Ritchie, right? Daughter of Mr. Ritchie. Very good. No. Very good. Now, when Marietta knows that Steve's father is the editor of the Cattle Star, right? What does she think? What does she think? She thinks that she can sell pictures to Steve's father. Very good. Very good. Now, what pictures do you think that she will sell to the cattle star? What pictures do you think that she will sell to the cattle star? The pictures of Steve, right? Very good. The pictures of Steve, right? Falling many times, right? Or falling into the water, right? Very good. Now, 1 week later, look at Steve and Marietta. Are they in love now? Maybe, yes, maybe they are in love now, right? Yes. And what are they talking about? They are talking about the newspaper, right? Yes. What are they reading? They are reading the newspaper, right? Very good. And what are they reading about? They are reading about their news, right? Their news. Marietta's pictures, right? And the news. Very good. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Bye bye.